Welcome to West Hempstead. My name is Faith Tripp, and I'm the principal of the Chestnut Street Early Childhood Center. For the past decade, our Board of Education President, Karen Brome, has led the charge to bring UPK to the West Hempstead Union Free School District. We know many officials were responsible for this opportunity, and we want to sincerely thank Senator Kaminsky and Assemblywoman Griffin for ensuring that the children of West Hempstead would benefit from this initiative. We're delighted to begin this journey. As you know, students are chosen via a lottery system. This past January, we opened our first classroom. Thanks to being fully funded, we can create 5 classrooms for the 22-23 school year. We are grateful that our youngest learners in the West Hempstead community will be receiving a high-quality education that sets them on the path of lifelong learning. And at this time, I would like to introduce Governor Hochul. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Principal Tripp, for your vision for bringing these incredible children an opportunity to have their lives transformed. And you, in conjunction with our really visionary school superintendent, Daniel Riemann, I want to thank him for over a decade of saying we need to have pre-K for the children of West Hempstead. Also, again, the school board, a critical role. Karen Brome is the the Board of Education president here. Everybody involved in the whole school ecosystem. I just had a fun time. I wish it had lasted longer. I made some new friends at the inaugural class of the pre-K program right here. And these children literally won the lottery in a sense that before this past January, 50% of the children in this school district entered kindergarten without ever having exposure to any kind of learning. That's not fair to them. That's not fair to their families, never to have this even available to them. So we saw a real need in our budget, and I want to thank our partners in government, Senator Todd Kaminsky and Assemblymember Judy Griffin, for bringing these concerns to Albany and saying we have to work together to create these opportunities for children in their district, but all over the state, and particularly here in Long Island. So this school is in the process of build-out right now. So that inaugural class will be joined by 4 other classrooms. We have to build the classrooms. We have to hire the teachers. But now there is so much energy and excitement around the experience that I just saw unfold in a classroom down the hall, where I was greeted by the most bright, energetic children I've ever seen, 4 and 5-year-olds, who will have this classroom experience to build upon when they get through the summer and enter next year as kindergartners. They will have an advantage that but for these investments and a leadership team here locally that made this happen, that was never available to them. So what we did in our budget was provide an additional $125 million to support the creation of pre-K programs for schools like these. Knowing that that money is there, they are now well poised to open this up to many other families. So that allows us to create 17,500 seats statewide, but right here on Long Island, over $27 million investment in schools like these. So to Principal Tripp and your entire team here at Chestnut Street School, you embraced it. So what does that mean? Over 70 children who parents struggle with activities for them while they may be at work, and knowing that their children are not getting ahead compared to other districts where this is universal, those lives are forever changed in a positive way. So I thank you. I mentioned the parents. This is not a babysitting situation, but what it does is allow parents the peace of mind to know that when they go off and work hard and bring home that paycheck to support their families, that their children are in a nurturing, learning place with caring adults surrounding them. That is the best outcome these children could ask for, or their parents. So I thank everyone involved in making this happen. But also, Long Island, as we know, is a very expensive place to live. It's got great quality of life, like outstanding school districts like this. And I thank again the superintendent and the principal for offering this first-rate quality education. But you know, families are struggling so much. They're taking it on the chin. The cost of everything from gas to groceries to milk to bread to rent, it is just taking a toll on people. So again, to offer for 70 families the freedom from worry about having to pay for child care services is really just going to help lift them up. And we have to do more. We have to continue investing in these opportunities. We also talk about the cost of everything going up. That's why, with my team here, the legislative team and our leaders in Albany, we said at this time, at this moment of time when people are struggling, let's give people a break. That's why we announced $2.2 billion in property tax relief, literally checks going back to people. And we said, let's get it out as soon as possible. People are struggling this very moment. So I thank our leaders from our Assembly District, our Senate District for making this happen. We also said, what else can we do? We really were pushing ourselves. We now are going to have an expedited middle-class tax cut. Again, that means more money in people's pockets, and that's going to give over 6 million people additional relief. We mentioned the high cost of gas. I wish there was more to do, but I looked at it and I said with our colleagues in government, we now collect sales tax, as do the counties, on every gallon of gas sold. What if even for a 6-month period between now and the end of the year, we can at least suspend that so that's just more money back in people's pockets? And I had mentioned the high cost of child care and why it's unattainable for so many families. We also said $7 billion is now on the table for the next 4 years to open up many more slots to give subsidies for families. The subsidies now, the average benefit is $9,000 per child. That's money that the parents don't have to come up with, and recognizing that we continue investing in this. So why am I here at a school? Because I'll never forget my children's first days at preschool. It's a time of anxiety for parents under any circumstances, that loss of connection with your baby who's now turning into this 3, 4, 5-year-old, and they seem to be changing before your eyes. But every parent is hardwired from the second that baby is in their arms to do whatever they can to protect them and make sure that they have the best outcome in life. That's not just the American dream, that is the New York dream that we invested in with these initiatives, and there's so much more to do. So I'm very proud to be here today, again, with great partners in government. And I want to tell everybody once again, never forget who we're investing in. We're investing in the children down the hall, the children whose voices and laughter will soon be filling these classrooms. That's how you change lives, one child at a time. And with that, I'd like to bring up Senator Todd Kaminsky, who's been a real champion for families in his district for many years, and his presence and his voice is so powerful in our state legislature. Senator Todd Kaminsky.
Thank you, Governor. It's easy to go around and talk about education and the importance of our students, but I want this to settle in. The governor made a 9-figure commitment to pre-K education. That's amazing and astounding. And when you talk to Long Island parents, they know a few things. And I think sometimes competition is a good thing. They say, hey, New York City, just a few miles that way, has UPK. What about us? And I think it really galvanized many of us to work together this year to make sure that that there was as much comparability and as much money invested here as there is anywhere. And we've made a commitment that over the next several years we'll lead, God willing, to universal pre-K all over the state. And when you talk to parents, like I have right here in West Hempstead, they will come up to you and say, do you know how much it cost me? And by the way, these are the ones who could afford it, to put my child in a private pre-K last year. Now that I don't have to pay that money, or now that I could go to work instead of being home, the economics completely changes for that family. And the studies show that those who start education early do better. So this investment is meaningful on so many different levels. And I think Long Island parents, Long Island teachers, Long Island voters will really appreciate this investment that's being made by the governor. So you don't just talk about it, you do it. You're a true champion for Long Island families, and this is really, really special. When Dr. Riemann told me a few years ago that half the kids in this school, which I represented, come to kindergarten, have never been to school before. It was shocking. But it's the reality we have, and it's the reality we're changing year by year, day by day, classroom by classroom. Great to work with Judy Griffin doing this. Great to work with the West Hempstead board and all the boards in my district. Government is hard. This is my 8th year in the legislature. It's very hard to get things done and accomplish anything. And every now and then when you see a little opening, you got to run through it. And together we were able to do this, and it's wonderful to see this wonderful setting where that work will pay off. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll hear from Assembly Member Judy Griffin.
Thank you, Governor Hochul. Good afternoon, everyone. I am honored to be here alongside Governor Hochul, Senator Kaminsky, Superintendent Raymond, and Board of Education President Ms. Brome, and also Principal Tripp. Getting fully funded for universal pre-K in 8021, Nassau, and Long Island, as well as suburbs across the state, is not only vital in helping hardworking families, but is also essential to a thriving economy. And that is exactly why I advocated so strongly for this, along with colleagues in the legislature, and why I applaud Governor Hochul for making universal pre-K and child care a top priority. West Hempstead has done an outstanding job on developing an impressive universal pre-K program in a short time. And I'm so glad to hear that this extension that they built is almost finished and will welcome about 90 students, 5 classes, into universal pre-K at their school. And that is a great achievement, and I'm excited to see other districts beginning their programs or expanding their programs, because it's so important. And as a working mom with older children, I appreciate that Governor Hochul understands just how important it is to offer universal pre-K and affordable child care to the suburbs. And we all know that universal pre-K benefits everyone, the children, families, and our local economy. And I really appreciate that. And I also am excited that Governor Hochul announced unprecedented funding after we passed our budget of $7 billion for child care. That will go a long way. And Governor Hochul and I both have had the honor of celebrating our first grandchild this year, a couple months ago. And we have a great vantage point to see young families, young parents with young children, how hard it is and how so many families need that double income, and they need to go out and have good jobs at good pay. And having universal pre-K, working towards that goal, will make that a reality. And the families, the hardworking families of Long Island, need all of our help to do just that. So I thank you for being a champion for all of us on Long Island.
Thank you. Now we'll hear from our school board president. I've been elected to every level of office known to man, from local, county, Congress, statewide. I've never been on a school board. I think that is probably the toughest job, the most unappreciated sometimes, but not by us. And I want to thank Karen for making sure she has a chance to say hello to us as well. Thank you very much.
I just want to say thank you to everybody in the room. This has definitely been a challenge for West Hempstead. Most people that know me know that about 13 or 14 years ago, I came into the building and I said, we need to have a pre-K here. And I was told no. So February 1st of this year, I texted every one of those people and I said, look at what we have. And that's really because of the people in this room: Senator Kaminsky, Assemblywoman Griffin, Governor Hochul. Without the monies that you guys were able to provide for us, we would certainly not be in this position. And to be able to afford the families of this district 90 seats, fully funded, for a universal pre-K is an amazing accomplishment here. There are many families that need this for them to be able to go to work, as everyone has said. So again, I want to thank you all for being here, and thank you for helping us along the way.
Any questions?
Governor, I just wanted to ask, why did you want to address this on Long Island and promote school funding here in West Hempstead and Long Island right now?
Because this particular funding pot for pre-K slots, Long Island was number 2 in the state in terms of the allocation, $27 million out of the $125 million. So there is a substantial investment right here, and the quality of education is critically important here, and the cost of living is high. So we've tried to relieve the burden on Long Island parents who can't afford many times to pay for private pre-K or pay for childcare. So this was just to give them a sense of relief that these investments will continue to be made. We're just getting started. We need to make sure that this is available in every single school, but starting here to help Long Island residents and families.
Can I just add one interesting detail? For those districts that already have half-day that want to go to full-day, the governor also appropriated money in the budget that schools could apply for beginning this summer, that they'll be awarded next fall or winter, that will help them go from pre-K to full-day. So there are many readers or consumers of on Long Island of your media who will say, I already have half-day, what does that mean for me? It means their districts can apply and make a case for why they should have full-day. There was lots of millions of dollars allocated to that, and hopefully they'll benefit as well.
Anything else? Well, thank you for coming and putting a spotlight on our investments here on Long Island to help our families succeed. Thank you.